Hi, it's Patrick here and Dan from BFS Wargaming. So we're doing a 1750 point battle between, my list is Custodes Knights and Drukhari. So we're gonna do Maelstrom of War, but we're gonna roll off on the main rule book for that, and also for the deployment. So I'll quickly go through my list. So we've got an outrider detachment of Custodes. So we've got the Shield Captain on bike. He has the Auric Aquilus and the Superior Creation Warlord trait, which gives him 5 up, feel no pain, and the Auric Aquilus gives him the 3 up invulnerable, and he gets to reroll charges. Then we've got 3 units of 3 Hurricane Bolters, jet bikes, and he's got Hurricane Bolter as well. And then we have a super heavy detachment, which since the FAQ for the Knights Codex, you now get 3 points for having one of the big knights in. So I've got the Paladin and I've got 2 Helverins. The Paladin has the rapid fire battle cannon with heavy stubber and another heavy stubber and the Reaper chainsword, and the Helverins have their 2 cannons and a heavy stubber each as well. So I've got a total of 7 command points, but I'm going to spend 2 to make this Paladin give him a Warlord trait and also give him a relic. So the relic gives him a 2 up save, and the Warlord trait gives him a 5 up invuln to ranged attacks. So yeah, so I'm now down, so I'll be down to 5 command points. So we're going to basically turn him into a Custodian, because I've painted them all in the same colours because I want to play them together and stuff like that. I will have a Knight Errant, a Custodes Knight, and a Warglaive as well to make up my Knights army. But I probably will be playing the Custodes and the Knights together at times. Sometimes it'll be pure Knights, sometimes it'll be pure Custodes. Just gives it a bit of variety for me for my Imperium army. But yeah, so we'll leave it there and then we'll get the Drukhari list up.
Right, this is the Drukhari list. We have a battalion of Cabal, the Cabal of the Black Heart. We have 2 Archons, 1 squad of 5 Calibite warriors with a Shredder, another one the same, and another squad with a Blaster. We have 2 Venoms, 2 Ravagers, 1 Dark Lance and 2 Disintegrators on each, and a Raider with a Disintegrator cannon. There's a Void Raven with Void Lances and a Razor Wing with Disintegrator cannons. We've got a Outrider Witch Cult led by Lilith Hesperax, and there's 3 squads of 3, all with each squad's got a Blaster and a Grav Talon. We have
That's Cult of Strife, isn't it?
And that's Cult of Strife, which, yeah, we don't get any choice with Lilith.
Okay, yeah.
And then we have a Homunculus Coven. We have a Homunculus, 2 squads of 3 Grotesques and a squad of Mandrakes. I'm using the Alliance of Agony, and I'm also using prizes from Dark City, so I can carry, I've owned 2 relics. 1 Archon will be having Writ of the Living Muse, which means that alongside their normal reroll 1s bubble, they also get reroll wounds of 1. And the Homunculus will have the Mask of the Vexator, which is, you can't overwatch the Homunculus, and you can also choose any unit within 6 inches to fight last.
So with the Alliance of Agony, what do you know the Warlord traits you're taking?
The Warlord traits, Lilith is
The one that she has to take.
she has to take.
The Blood Dancer, is it?
Blood Dancer, yeah. And the off the top of my head, I can't remember.
The Archon is you're doing the one where you reroll,
with the
stratagem
for the Black Heart.
Yeah, we roll stratagems, getting back on a 6 or command points, whichever it is.
And the
Homunculus
will be for
you get the D3, and then you can re-roll a wound.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good list. You look like you've got enough firepower to...
I'm not so sure. There's a lot of mobility in your list and not very many troops, so the poison weapons are going to find it hard.
Yeah, I think the poison weapons will find it hard, but you've got, you know, blasters, you've got disintegrator cannons, which are very good, you've got the dark lances.
I wanted to try out a different list to what I've done before, just to mix things up, being a fairly new Drukhari player.
Yeah, you've got to try out new things, and you try out different...
See what works.
I mean, this is the first time you're taking the mandrakes, isn't it?
Yes, I've only just got them after a long time of waiting to pick some up, and I've got some, and they're hard starting to paint them, but haven't got so far.
Yeah, I think there's a good mixture in the list. Obviously, you've got the three different sort of, you know, the witch cult, the Cabalites, and the homunculus. So yeah, it's a good cross section.
I decided to bring all three again just to see what they'd be like individually against a fairly durable opponent.
And what and how many command points have you got?
10.
Plus you get the D3 from the homunculus.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set the board up. We'll roll off for the mission and the deployment, and then we will come back to you. We'll probably come back to you with the deployment and talk through the mission and everything like that. Okay, so see you soon. So we had the Hammer and Anvil deployment. The Golden Army, the Custodes and the Knights are set out along here. We're playing Contact Lost, so it's the one where you first turn you generate a tactical objective, and then it's for how many objective markers you control is how many tactical objectives you get from then on in. So the Drukhari are out. We've got the Razor Wing, the Void Raven Bomber, the Raider, some Venom, the Reavers, and the Archon and Warlord here. Dan spent 2 command points for the put the Ravagers in. All the other troops there are in Venoms and Raiders. And is it this one, the Archon?
Yes.
The Archon and Lilith are in the Venom back there. So that's what we're doing. So we're gonna roll off now for see you guys first. I got +1 because I deployed about half an hour before Dan. So you got us. So I got 6, which is a 7. Can you seize? Oh, nearly.
I've got 2 by the way for the first roll.
Okay. So we are going to go into Custodes and Knights turn 1. Okay, Custodes turn 1 movement. So I got the tactical objective, no prisoners. So I needed to destroy some units. So these bikes stayed still. The Paladin moved up. These bikes moved up to get that objective. These bikes moved up here near this objective. They're not on it. This stayed still, and also I'm just going to move this up onto this objective here. And the shield captain jumped up. So I'm going to go into shooting phase. Okay, so Custodes turn 1 shooting. The bikes here shot into this lot of Reavers and took 1 out. The bikes over here shot into these grotesques and didn't do any damage because Dan saved it all. The Helverin at the back shot into the Razor Wing and took off 3 damage. And then this Helverin shot and Dan played light and fast reactions and it took off 2 damage because Dan saved one of them from the Feel No Pain from the corner of the Black Heart. These bikes and my shield captain were out of range, and then the heavy stubbers shot into the grotesques behind this building and took off 1 wound off one of them, and the rapid fire battle cannon shot into the Raider, and Dan saved 3 5-up invons. So basically, Dan done a lot of good saves. But we're still not into where the Custodes get good, so we've got to weather the storm of the Drukhari turn because we won't have a charge because we're not in distance to charge anything. So we're going to weather the storm of the Drukhari shooting, everything dropping in and whatnot, and we'll see what happens in Drukhari turn 1. I didn't score the no prisoners because I didn't destroy anything, so I'll be hanging on to that. So Dan will pull out the cards and we'll go into turn 1. So end of turn 1 Drukhari movement. They moved all the Reavers up, the Venom, they dropped in the 2 Ravagers, they moved the Archon up here, they moved the Razor Wing over to here, moved the Raider up, and moved the Grotesques up to here, and the Venom up, and then the Razor Wing over to there. So we're going to go into the shooting phase. Oh, the card that Dan got was Defend Objective 5, which is the one he is moved up to there. Okay, end of Drukhari turn 1 shooting. So they shot a lot of stuff into my poor Helverin.
Doing the Void Bomb.
Yeah, they've done the Void Bomb first, which done 3 mortal wounds. They shot a lot of disintegrators, shot everything from the Void Raven into it.
The Shatterfields from them finished it off.
Yeah, the Shatterfields from the Razor Wing finished it off. They shot some disintegrators from this, the Dark Knights disintegrators from that Ravager, and anyway, it didn't blow up. The Reavers blasters into the bikes here, and one went through and they took out the bike.
Blasted from this into their mist.
Yeah, they missed. Grotesques didn't shoot.
All the splinter cannonry was saved.
Yeah, and then you shot this Ravager, one at these, one disintegrator cannon at them, one at them, which both saved, and then the Dark Lance at that, which missed.
I took 2 wounds off of.
Oh yes, you took 2 wounds off of one of the bikes over there.
Disintegrator cannon.
Yeah, with a disintegrator cannon from the Razor Wing. So we're going to go into the charge and fight phase. I think Dan's going to be doing some charges, probably here and maybe over there if you can get in. So we'll go to the end of Drukhari charge and fight phase and end of the turn. So they charged in, they done 2 mortal wounds on the charge with the Grav Talons, and then they done another wound. So this bike over here is down to 1 wound in the fight, and then we fought back and killed off 2 Reavers and took this one down to 1. Oh, and this one lost 1 in Overwatch, 1 wound in Overwatch. So Dan's still sitting on Objective 5 over here to defend it, and does this need to take morale? He's lost 2.
Quite possibly.
What is this? What's that shit? So yeah, they can't fail it, was over. Okay, so.
I'm sorry, actually, no, we can. It's not really, it's more the blast.
Okay, so it's done 6. No. So fine, pass the morale. So we are going to go into Custodes turn 2. I'm currently on 1 objective here, 1 objective at the back there, and an objective there, so I'll get 3 tapped objectives. So we're going to Custodes turn 2. Okay, Custodes turn 2 movement. We got Blood and Guts, defend objective 5, defend objective 2, and still got no prisoners. So we moved the shield captain over here. We left the Helverin where it was. We moved them bikes up to have a look at the homunculus coven over there. We moved the paladin up. We moved these 3 bikes. We dropped these 2 back out of combat, and they're defending objective 2. And that was it. I haven't got that many models. So we're going to go into the shooting phase for Custodes turn 2. Okay, end of Custodes turn 2 shooting. So we shot the bikes, one of the bikes into homunculus, took him down 3 wounds, and we took out a Grotesque, and the paladin's heavy stubbers took out the last Grotesque, the other Grotesque, who was down to 1 wound. The Helverin shot into the Void Raven, done 3 wounds. The shield captain shot into him, he saved. We took out the 2 bikes over here, and took out the other 1 bike with bikes shooting. And then the paladin took off 2 wounds off of the Ravager over here. So we're going into the charge and fight. So end of Custodes turn 2. We're charging over here. We lost 1 bike to Overwatch from the blaster. and we then killed 2 of them, and 1 survived on 4 wounds. Over here, Dan used his relic to make my bikes fight last. So he got to fight them. He got to fight first and took 4 wounds off. So one of the bikes died. It was on 2 wounds, and there's another 2 wounds on the bikes. I fought back, didn't do anything to his homunculus, and took 1 wound. 2 wounds.
1.
Oh, was it 1 wound off of the grotesque?
I'll go back feeling that pain.
Oh yeah. And then over here, the shield captain killed the Void Raven bomber, doing 9 wounds, 9 damage. So that was pretty good. So we're gonna go. Oh, and I've got blood and guts. So I destroyed the Void Raven bomber in close combat. I'm on the way to getting defend objective 2, and I've got 3 unload prisoners. So I'll roll the D3 for that, and I've got 3. So we're going to go into Drukhari turn 2. Okay, Drukhari turn 2 movement. The Ravager stayed still, the Archon dropped down here, the Raider moved over. The Lilith and the Archon got out of this Venom back here and then moved up. The Venom's also moved up. The Reaver, or Reaper, whatever it is, dropped out. The Grotesque stayed in with Homunculus, that Venom stayed still. The Razor Wing moved over to there, and Dan got 1 tax objective, which was priorities received, and it was, he pulled domination, so he's not going to do that. So we're going into, oh, and he's dropped the Mandrakes in at the back here near my shield captain. So we're going to go into the shooting phase. Okay, Drukhari turn 2 shooting. It was a really good turn for them, not a very good turn for the Custodes. In fact, I made 1 save out of everything they shot. So they killed the 2 bikes here, took 2 wounds off of him, took a wound off of my shield captain, took from 24 down to 7 basically from shooting onto the knight. So considering he's got a 4 up invuln and a 2 up normal save, I didn't save 1 thing. And in fact I saved the last thing, which was it was 1 disintegrate. It was a disintegrate shot. Okay. Yeah, I saved a disintegrate shot and I saved 1 splinter cannon shot. So yeah, my saves have been horrendous, which is not good. Yeah, I even used a command reroll on one of the bikes to get, because I rolled a 1, I needed a 2, and I re-rolled into a 1. So I had a really bad saving throws. So we're going to go into the charge and fight phase for Drukhari turn 2. I think it could quite possibly be over by the end of turn 3. In fact, I'll bet money on it. Okay, end of Drukhari turn 2. Dan whiffed massively in close combat. He actually didn't do any damage, or maybe what? No, didn't do any damage to these bikes over here, and he done 1 damage to the bikes over there. The bikes hit back and done 2 wounds to the Grotesques over there, and these 2 bikes actually killed Lilith Hesprax. So we're going to be going into round 3, Custodes turn 3. It's not looking great for Custodes and the Knights, but we'll see if we can, you know, take some stuff out and do some damage, see what cards we get. So we're going to go into Custodes turn 3. So Custodes turn 3, we called out a priority orders received, eliminate threats, and we dropped these 2 bikes out, we moved the shield captain up, and we dropped the 2 bikes out of combat over there and moved the paladin up. Then, this is the move and fight phase, shooting phase, sorry. So with the shield captain, we shot his Hurricane Bolter into the Archon. The Archon done a Shatterfield save, there's 9 wounds, 8 wounds went through.
Failed his Shatterfield on the first one.
He failed his Shatterfield, there's 9 wounds went through, failed his Shatterfield on the first one, and he died. Then these 2, one of them shot at the Reaver, killed it, the other one shot at the Venom, took him down 2 wounds. The Armiger shot his heavy stubbers down at his mandrakes, took 2 out, or his heavy stubber, should I say. And the autocannons went into this Ravager over here and took him from 8 to 3, so 5 wounds off of him, because he saved 1 up on Feel No Pain. And then we fired the heavy stubbers at the Grotesque, but it didn't do anything, and then we fired the rapid fire battle cannon into this and took it down 2 wounds. And that was about it. So we're going to go into the charge and fight phase. Okay, end of Custodes and Knights turn 3. The Knight made it in, the Shield Captain didn't. He didn't lose any to Overwatch, the Knight didn't lose any to Overwatch. He decided to use Titanic Feet, or he did try to get into the Archon as well, but didn't make it. But he's used Titanic Feet. I missed so many, ended up getting 5 wounds through. He rolled 3 5-up invulnerables. I rolled a D3 and it was 4. So 4 damage, and then he rolled 3 6s for his Feel No Pain, so only 1 wound went through. So it was a diabolical fighting phase. Me and Dan have not done well in fighting phase. He also realised he didn't use Lilith Hesperax right, and he should have had loads more attacks and other things, but there we go. So many rules, you end up forgetting them sometimes. So we're gonna move on to, I did get 1 victory point for eliminate threats, and Dan got 2 for defending objective 5. So yeah, we're gonna go to Drukhari, turn 3. Okay, Drukhari moving phase. So the Razor Wing has moved across here, the Mandrakes have moved up, the Venoms have moved down to here. The Raiders dropped out of combat, moved back here with next to the Ravagers. The Archons jumped up onto here, running scared. That Ravager stayed still, this Venom stayed still, and then the Grotesques have moved up over here.
I had in the movement phase, I wanted to do a D3, spending 1 command point to do that.
To do what?
D3 more wounds on a Monkeys.
Okay.
Use 1 wound covers.
Cool. So you got 1 wound back on his homunculus, and we're going to go into the shooting phase. Okay, end of Drukhari shooting, turn 3. This is a very different round to the last shooting round of Drukhari. This round, I saved stuff, which was good. He did take from 7 down to 4 on my Knight. He did shoot a couple of things that didn't do anything. He shot a lot of stuff into my Shield Captain, but he saved everything, or Feel No Pain it. He did take out one of the bikes over here, and he took this bike down to 1 wound. So he's now going to go into charge and fight phase to get his card, which he needs to kill something in the shooting phase and something in the fight phase. So we're going into Drukhari turn 3, charge. Okay, into Drukhari turn 3. The Mandrakes and Venom come in. They done 2 wound. Mandrakes done 1 wound. The Venom done 1 wound on my Shield Captain. I then destroyed the Venom, and the Mandrakes saved their 1 wound that got through. And then over here, the Grotesque done a mortal wound on my bike and killed it. And that's how things are standing at the end of turn 3. So we're going to go into Custodes Knights turn 4. Okay, I only was on 1 objective, so just got the 1 card, Kingslayer. I dropped my Shield Captain out of combat, moved him up to here, moved these 2 bikes back to here. The Paladin is actually going to move up to here, just so he can't miss. And then the Helverin stayed where he was. So we're going to go into the shooting phase. Okay, so the turn 4 Custodes Knights shooting. We shot the rapid fire battle cannon, and his hurricane bolt was into the Raider, and we took it down 4 wounds. We shot his heavy stubbers into the Grotesque over there, took down 2 wounds, which killed 1 and took 1 down, a wound. We took out the 2 mandrakes over here. We shot at this Void Raven with one of the other bikes and the heavy stuffers from here and didn't do any damage. Then with the cannons, we fired up at the Ravager up here and only took it down another couple of wounds, so it's still on 6. So we're going to go into the charge and fight phase. Okay, end of Custodes and Knights turn 4. Over here, we charged into the Void Raven. We didn't take anything on Overwatch and we killed it. It didn't blow up. Over here, the Knight charged into the Ravager and the Raider. He split his attacks with his Titanic feet. He done 6 into the Ravager, 6 into the Raider. The Ravager died and didn't blow up, and we only took 1 wound, was it? Down 1 wound on the Ravager. Raider, sorry. And the Homunculus Coupler over there with that Venom. So we're going into Drukhari turn 4. Yeah, it's gonna be. Looks like it's actually gonna end up being quite a close game. I maybe was a bit too harsh on mine. I mean, there's been some things like my savings turned round, and you know, it's been an interesting game. I'm gonna go into Drukhari turn. Okay, so end of Drukhari turn 4 shooting, and actually ended the turn. So he ended up shooting everything into the Knight, who had 4 wounds, and he ended up taking him out. He tried to shoot everything but the Ravager, but he ended up having to put the Ravager, all the weapons from the Ravager into it, and took it out. He's not in range to charge anything, and he didn't get any tactic objectives because he wasn't on any at that point. He is now going to be on one for the next time. So we're going into Custodes turn 5. All that we've got left is the Shield Captain, 2 bikes over here. Oh, and we did get 2 victory points to that for having defended objective 2. And we've got the Helverin. And the Drukhari have this Raider with 10 Cowlights in it, the Archon, the Ravager, Venom, 2 Grotesques there, 1 Grotesque up there, and a Homunculus. So we're going into Custodes and Knights turn. Okay, so we're going to go through the whole Custodes Imperial Knights turn because it was so quick. So the 2 bikes there moved to there, Helverin stayed still, Shield Captain moved up, he shot into the Archon saved all the Shatterfields, the Helverin shot into this Ravager, took it down another 2 wounds. I then charged the Shield Captain into the Archon. We had a little battle. He failed his last Shatterfield save, or second from last Shatterfield save. I ended up doing 3 wounds to him, and he didn't do any wounds back. So we're going into. Oh, and did I score any of these? I got defended objective 4, and that was it. So point for that. So we're going to go into Drukhari turn. Okay, Drukhari turn 5 movement. He moved the Venom over to this objective, advanced the Grotesque, the Homunculus, moved the Raider up and dropped the Archon out of combat. Left the Grotesque up on that objective there. He got 1 objective, which was death by 1,000 cuts, so he's got to kill 1 unit with 3 different units. So we'll see how that goes. It might happen over here. So yeah, we'll go into the shoot. Okay, end of Drukhari turn 5. So they shot everything into my Warlord, took him down to 1 wound, and then down to Ravager, charged, see if he can get that last wound off. I saved, hit him back, and killed him. So we're going to see if the game carries on. So Dan is going to roll. On a 3, it carries on. So we're going to be going into Custodes and Knights turn 6. Okay, end of Custodes and Knights turn 6. So the Helverin shot into the Venom, didn't do anything, rolled terribly. The Shield Captain shot into the Archon here and killed him, then charged the Raider and destroyed that. So we got behind enemy lines, which we got 1 victory point for, and then we got Kingslayer, which we get 3 victory points for, plus 1 for Slayer Warlord. So we are now up to 13. And how many did you have, Dan?
3.
13 to 3 on victory points. Dan is conceding because what he has left is these 2 grotesques and that homunculus, the grotesque up there, and the venom. I have my shield captain on 1 wound. I have these 2 bites, one of them on 1 wound, and I have the Hellgrim. So Dan can't make it back through victory points, and doesn't look like either one of us is going to table the other one. So
I couldn't have made it back through victory points anyway, just for the horrendous cards I rolled.
Yeah, you had Dan had terrible cards. We'll have a little post-game chat and talk about the game. So, a little post-game chat. I'm going to talk through what happened or what we think went wrong or right. So, I think it started off okay for Custodes, and then turn 1 was a bit, nothing really happened, did it? And then turn 2 shooting for you.
Drukhari was devastating in turn 2.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't save well at all, but there was a lot of wounds come off my Paladin Knight. Went from 24 down to 7. I mean, that's a lot of wounds to be doing in 1 round of shooting.
Especially
also, it was
4 up in one.
Yeah, he had a 4 up in 1 and a 2 up save, and then you were taking wounds off of other bikes and all sorts as well. It wasn't like you shot everything at that, so it was devastating. It was I thought 100%. I thought after that turn, I thought another round like that and I'm done. Like I really thought I'd lost the game after that turn. And then turn 3, Drukhari shooting. My saves were the complete opposite, and I was saving everything, wasn't I?
Yeah, and I had a terrible close combat round.
Oh yeah.
Didn't utilise
your turn 2 close combat was terrible, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Turn 2, Dan's turn 2 close combat.
I lost a lot on fight back. I didn't use Lela for some of her rules.
Yeah, she should have had more attacks than she had.
Some more attacks,
yeah.
And well, the witches in general.
And also,
I forgot about
the exploding 6s as well.
Yeah, exploding 6s. I forgot, and I forgot the witch card should have had an extra attack on any of all of their models.
It's the trouble with the Drukhari, there's so many rules and so many little things that you're thinking about really 3 armies, with the homunculus cover and the cabal. And that's just, the more you play them, the more you're going to learn, the more you're going to remember. But yeah, the Knights, the first time I've used the Helverin Knights, I thought they were really good. They're not that durable.
No, I didn't find them difficult to take out. Obviously there was 1 left at the end. There was
but you had
the opposite side of the ball.
You literally hadn't shot him.
Yeah.
You only shot him once. But yeah, the other one you took out fairly.
I think I fired the Dark Lance right at the end when I was on my last tier of the Ravager.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I missed. That was the only weapon I fired out.
Yeah, so I feel like they can dish out the wounds, but they will go down quick. But then I feel with the list I took, it was good in terms of with the bikes, people are going to shoot the bikes and stuff because they're coming at them, and then the Paladin's sort of in between, holding that middle ground, and then hopefully get him in as well because he can do some damage in close combat. And then the sort of Helverins that are sitting back and shooting. It's just hard playing Drukhari. Drukhari are such a good army. They've got such good mobility, and they've got a lot of guns, and they are durable. Everything's got a 5 up invon. And then 6 up feel no pain when you do Cabal of the Blackheart. And
to be fair, I actually rolled a lot of the feel no pains.
And the 5 up invons. You rolled, like, statistically, there's no way you should have rolled that many 5 up invons. No way. So, I mean, there was a good... When my Hellgrim was shooting, I was getting 3 wounds through most times, and he was saving 2 5 up invons, and then saving at least 1 feel no pain. So I was getting, like, on average, 2 damage through from 9.
And I think twice I saved everything, all feel no pain.
Yeah. So, I mean, it all comes down to rolls, obviously, as well. But statistically, your rolls on the saving throws was so good.
On the other hand, I would have tactically done something slightly different if I'd had better objective cards.
Yeah, your objective cards were terrible. I actually, my objective cards, I mean, I got a couple that were just like, I don't, but but still achievable, whereas you got some that were horrendous.
The second one after Defend Objective 5, which was the only reasonable one I had, was priority orders received, domination.
So his warlord had to hold six
objectives,
which is pretty hard to do.
And had pain in all its forms, which is to score 1 victory point if at least one enemy unit was destroyed by shooting or fighting in this turn by at least 2 enemy units.
Yeah. So that's the one.
Got that right at the end.
Yeah.
Tried to get your warlord, and he just you did save well on that.
Psychological warfare. I saved really well on that.
Psychological warfare, pretty much unable to do against Custodes.
Yeah. I had such small units. It was just.
And again, death by 1,000 cuts, so 3 units.
I mean that was
kill something with 3 units.
Yeah, which you nearly done on my shield captain at the end, and he saved his because he had the superior creation, the 5 up, feel no pain, and then so I was saving most, and then anything did get through. I actually did roll quite a few 5 up, feel no pain. So
I probably wouldn't have desperately gone for Slay the Warlord earlier on if I'd have got some objective cards. Where I could have actually held objectives and tripled up the points. It wouldn't have made me so desperate.
It was the first time you played the Mandrakes as well, which
I didn't mind the Mandrakes. I think they could be quite good against this list.
I didn't feel they were great against this list. I mean, if you were playing them against,
they took wounds off the shield captain.
And I feel like if you were playing them against Guard, Imperial Guard or Astra Militarum,
they had the ability to take wounds because they took wounds off of the shield captain. So against other.
Yeah, and shield captains are tough. It's tough as 6, Yeah,
they're hard to get wounds through when you're only hitting them with strength 4.
And they're really good at saves, and their saves are really good as well. So
I feel
to be getting a wound off them is good.
Because I wasn't 100% expecting a full bike list. I thought there might have been a few troops in there.
Yeah, no.
Probably, I feel my list. When I first saw your list with all bikes and knights, I thought, I'm going to struggle here with the amount of poison weaponry I had.
Yeah.
Because obviously vehicles, you're not the bikes themselves, but the knights, it's wounded on 6s.
Yeah. And then my bikes were 2 up.
The disintegrator cannons are only strength 5. And your bike,
you didn't get that much through.
Everything's got higher toughness than my disintegrator.
Your disintegrator cannon, one of the best ones was from your Razor Wing. You done 8 wounds on my knight, and I didn't save anything.
Yeah, a real hot roll.
Yeah. But most of the time, disintegrator cannons, you're only getting like 1 through out of the 3 shots.
Yeah.
And then I was quite often saving
2 damage.
Yeah.
So I probably could have gone maybe 1 Ravager with Dark Lances and.
Yeah, but I don't know because you were. Yeah, like you say, it's very hard to say. I think they were good against the bikes, the disintegrator cannons.
Yeah, they didn't do too bad.
Yeah.
Triple wounds off. To be honest, the Reavers did okay. I made a little bit of a mistake in my deployment.
The Reavers done, because you put them in the open a bit, but then I only took 1 off.
And I should have been getting an extra attack on all of them.
Yeah.
So I probably, with an extra 6 attacks, I might have got that extra wound off that bike.
Yeah, you might have done. I mean, at the end of the day though, they did do well. They were your frontline unit. They were the ones that were going to die first.
Oh, so, I wanted them as I was using them as a suicidal unit almost.
I think they've done really well. The grotesques were good. They're just, again, a really durable unit, hard to get rid of. Dish out a lot of attacks.
Looking forward to getting the big models. And
my 3 bright bikes did okay up in that corner. It kept the homunculus coven occupied.
Yeah, that close combat roll that I had on them when I thought I'll probably finish them off here, and got 1 wound through.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that was really good was his homunculus has a rule which can make you fight last.
The Mask of the Vexator.
So when I first charged, I mean, although that was the one you only done 1 wound, wasn't it? So I still had 3, but you did take out 1 bike.
I took 1 bike.
Yeah, you took out 1 bike, so I only had 2 bikes rather than 3 to fight with, which obviously makes a big difference of going from 12 attacks down to 8. So that was a very good.
When I charged to take them out, you can Overwatch.
Yeah, because of that relic. So
especially with the Drukhari getting after turn 2 getting re-roll on charges.
I think it's a very good relic. Very good relic.
Especially with the homunculus cover. Just
because you need to get them into
You
combat.
just throw the monkulus in first,
And then send them with
negate
grotesques.
the Overwatch, and then pile in with grotesques.
Yeah, no.
And if you were running Tanoses.
Yeah. No, I think it was really good, but such an up and down game. 1 minute I thought I'm going to be tabled. The next minute I was like, oh, hang on, I've just had a really good round. I can come back, and then ended. And I sort of knew I was on victory points, and then it ended up like I thought I could just try and hide and wait it out. And I just sent my shield captain up there and thought I could try and slay his warlord.
You did hide the other 2 bites.
I did hide the other 2 bites because I thought if he takes out the Helverin and takes out my warlord, I can still win on victory points with the 2 bites hiding.
Just purely because, well, I only got 1 secure card the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, I ended up with like 13 victory points and you had 3, and at the end of the day, a lot of that was down to what cards we pulled. So, and which, you know, that's part of the game.
I shuffled them before I started, so it is what it is.
Exactly. But yeah, it was it was a good game. It was fun, very up and down. It was nice to see how the new units you played, the new units I played, how they worked, and I was sort of very worried about my list, but I think it was, to be honest, I just had a really bad round of saving throws, and I thought it had killed me, but I managed to hang on and bring it back, and the Paladin actually done some work in the end. And did all right.
Once you got close.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to getting the Castellan, and I'm getting an Errant as well, so hopefully you'll be able to see them on a few back reps soon as well. But yeah.
So I'll probably take a different list to fight the Knight Army.
Yeah, maybe some more. But then, I mean, you might take a few different things, but I suppose you'd take a lot of Haywire Blasters.
Yeah.
Yeah, Haywire Blasters are nasty. You didn't actually have any of them, which I was quite glad about.
Yeah, I was going to take Scourges, and I just wanted to try things like Mandrakes and try different things in my list. Yeah. But the Haywire, if I was going to be fighting a Knight Army, I would be taking
Haywire upon Haywire Blaster.
I have 15 Scourges, so I'd probably be taking 15 Haywire Blasters.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you.
And Taluses with Haywire Blasters.
Yeah, yes, it's going to be all Haywire Blasters. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And all the terrain was from Mad Gaming Terrain. We'll put a link in the description. And also 40k where you can get Mad Gaming Terrain. So yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Yeah.